Hello students, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jagdeep. In this video series, we are learning about supply. The previous video we talked about individual supply, and in this video we will learn about market supply. So without wasting any time further, let's get started. Now when we talk about market supply is a total of all individual supplies at various prices during a given period of time. What this means is all individual sellers in a given market, whatever quantity of the given commodity they are willing to sell at different prices or at various prices during a certain time period, an addition of all those quantities would be considered as market supply. Now we could study a market supply through a schedule and a graph. We'll take a look at the schedule first. So this is the market supply schedule, and in this schedule we can see there are three major columns. We have the price of the commodity, the quantity supplied, and the market supply. So at $1, so Mr. A, who is a seller in a given market, is supplying 5 kgs of apples, and Mr. B is supplying 10 kgs of apples. So market supply, which is an aggregation of the supplies of all individual sellers, is 15 kgs. Likewise, at price 2, the supply from Mr. A is 10 kgs and from Mr. B is 15 kgs, and likewise the market supply, I'll write it down, is 25. Let me write it for the previous scenario as well. The market supply at $3 is 15 from Mr. A and 20 kgs from Mr. B, which is 35 kgs, and at $4 it is 20 kgs from Mr. A and 25 kgs from Mr. B, rounding up to 45 kgs. So this is basically the market supply, and this is what a tabular representation would look like. Alright, so what is a schedule? It's a tabular representation of various quantities that all the sellers in the given market are willing to offer for sale at various prices. Alright, let's take a look at the market supply curve. So when it comes to market supply curve, I've already written the definition or the meaning of it. So it's a graphical representation, just like we talked about the schedule, which was a tabular representation. So curve is a graphical representation of the various quantities of commodities all the sellers in a market are ready to sell at different or various prices during a given period of time. Now based on the table that we've looked above, let's plot the graph. So at $1 the supply was 5 kgs, at $2 the supply was 10 kgs, at $3 the supply was 15 kgs, and at $4 the supply was 20 kgs. I don't have a scale here, so I may not get a very straight line. If you are drawing with me, make sure that your units are properly marked. So this is supply from Mr. A. Let's take a look at the figures from Mr. B. Okay. So at price 1, it is $10 from Mr. B, 15 kgs at $2, 20 kgs somewhere over here at $3, and 25 kgs at $4. So I've just joined these pointers. So this is supply from Mr. B. Now let's plot the market supply curve. So at $1 the market supply is 15. At $2 market supply is 25, so somewhere over here. At $3 market supply is 35, so somewhere over here. And at $4 it is 45, so somewhere over here. Let me try and join these pointers too. So this is market supply, A plus B. Now if we take a look at this diagram, we can see that the market supply curve is a much flatter curve relative to the individual supply curves. Why is this? Because with every change in price, the proportionate change in the supply is much larger than the proportionate change in the price of the commodity. So here the price is steadily increasing by 1, but the increase in supply is not in the same proportion, and hence this market supply curve is a much flatter curve. Another thing that we need to remember is market supply is obtained by horizontally, let me just write that, horizontally adding the individual supplies. Okay. Now what that means is this. So let us take an example. So at price 2, supply from individual A or seller A is this much, which is basically 10, and supply from individual B at price 2 is this much, which is 15, right. So when we plot individually, these curves are located more or less side by side, but when you add 15 to the 10, so from here if you add 15, this is the pointer that you would get, which represents the market supply, and hence we say that market supply is a horizontal addition or a horizontal summation of all individual supplies. This is an important segment that we need to remember while writing an answer for market supply. So how do we obtain a market supply curve? We obtain a market supply curve by horizontally adding the individual supplies. So if you do not want to get into the numerical additions and calculations, all you could do is simply draw the diagram like this. So you could have individual supplies which are a little steeper and market supply which is a little flatter. Alright, that too would be enough for you to depict how market supply is obtained. I hope students you have understood what market supply is. So students, if you find learning through me exciting, you could work with me directly. If you are interested in working with me directly, you could DM me. The number is given on the screen. If you find my videos useful, please do like, share and subscribe, and if you find learning through long videos difficult, you could also follow me over my Instagram channel. I shall meet you with another video in the same segment, and the another video would be with regards to changes in supply. Until then, bye now. Take care.